What's up, gang? Welcome back to This Dad TV, and thank you once again for joining me on the channel. I appreciate it as always. Today's another reaction video, and we're checking out the brand new trailer for Avatar: The Way of Water. If you want to check out my other reaction content for Marvel, Star Wars, or the trailers, I'm working on getting those videos edited and put up. Have some parks videos and Imagineering content in the works as well, so I appreciate you all checking that out. This trailer is actually shown with Doctor Strange currently in theaters, and I have not seen that yet, so looking forward to that later this week. This is a sequel to 2009's Avatar, a movie that nobody wants to admit they liked or saw, but is still the highest box office film of all time, which is crazy. I've lost count of how many times this thing has been canceled or delayed or postponed. I'm not sure I believe it's going to be here until it's physically in theaters. I think there's actually 3 more of these planned for after this, which is nuts, but I guess we'll see if they actually happen on the proposed timeline. I haven't heard too much about this film. I think it's similar timeline to the first, maybe a few years later. I know there's a few casts that have come back, and Zoe Saldana and Sam Worthington. I am looking forward to it. The first one, was visually stunning. Maybe not the greatest story, but I still enjoy it. So really interested to see how this one plays out, what James Cameron has in store for us. So let's check it out. That 20th century logo never gets old, does it? It's so iconic. Got the floating cliffs from the first movie. Very cool. Wow, that's a great shot. Wow. The Banshee's back. Cameron just giving us all the eye candy, isn't he? And the humans are back. In a big way. Good grief, they've been busy. Lots of water, which is not surprising. That's a great shot too.
I know one thing. Wherever we go, this family.
Is that 2 kids? Human and Na'vi? It's interesting. Oh wow. Oh, that was pretty neat. All right, so that was it. Now, now I see why that was a teaser trailer, because that was just a big tease, wasn't it? Oh my goodness. Well, what'd you guys think? I was interested. I have a ton to say on it because they didn't really give us a whole heck of a lot. Just off the top of my head, I'm watching some repeat as I'm talking now, but just right off the bat, visually, off the charts. It's been a few years since I've seen the first film, so I'll have to go back and watch that, but just seeing this, minute and a half, I think it was here, just, it looks so good. I mean, he's had 13 years to work on it, so he's had plenty of time, so I would expect nothing less of James Cameron, but it looks really good. Story-wise, we didn't get a whole heck of a lot. I think there was maybe 10 words of dialogue, which I guess we don't have to have a bunch of dialogue, but not much to go off of there. Looks like the humans are back, obviously. I'm assuming still on their mining kick and trying to boot the Na'vi out. And looks like the Na'vi are off looking for a home, which, the water ties in. I don't know if it's underwater, on islands, how that's going to work out. But that's kind of basically just kind of a continuation of the first film is what we can get from them. So I'm hoping there's more to the story. I'm assuming this comes out in December. So I'm assuming we'll get a second trailer in the next few months. Maybe we'll get some more tidbits of story-wise, what's happening. I'm hoping there's more to the story, not so it's not just visuals, but this is definitely a film. Even if you have just mild curiosity, you definitely got to see this in the theater. You can watch it on TV, but it just seems like, IMAX 3D, what have you. It's got to be a big screen experience, absolutely. But I'll be interested to see too, just tying this into Disney parks, if they go anything down that route in the future. This is the first film that Disney owns Avatar-wise that they're releasing since they purchased Fox. So if you haven't been to Pandora, World of Avatar, Animal Kingdom down in Florida, It is a beautiful land there in the park. The park itself is beautiful as well, obviously, but the land is fantastic. They do a great job, trying to pull off the floating cliffs and the flora and the fauna, just the whole vibe. If you can ever visit it at night as well, which they don't usually have too many nighttime hours these days, but nighttime as well, it's just fantastic. Just do a great job of pulling off the whole vibe from this land as probably as best you could. Joe Rohde and his team did a great job, but be interested to see, D23 is this year. There obviously wouldn't be any announcements for an attraction this year, but maybe in the next year or two, depending on how this film does. As I said, there's 3 more films after this. So, if the franchise continues to do well, would we see an expansion to Pandora at Animal Kingdom? There is a spot for an attraction that I know of, at least one. So maybe we'll see some type of tie into this movie. I don't know with the water, how that would jive with the current land and if they could make something work. I know initially when the land was planned, there was ideas for a coaster, which coaster wouldn't make too much sense for this movie. But maybe down the road we'll get some type of tie-in with the movie. That would be really interesting to see, and I think definitely needed for the park as well. If Animal Kingdom, they could use some attractions. So be interested to see, from Disney's synergy standpoint, if they do try and tie in this movie to a future attraction in the parks. But curious to know your guys' thoughts. Are you looking forward to this? Are you turned off right away because we didn't get too much story-wise, or it doesn't look like too complex a story, very similar to the first? Or are you interested in it? I'm definitely going to see it no matter what, just because it looks great, just visually. So I do hope we get some type of expansion to the story, going forward, and be looking for that when the next trailer comes out. But all that being said, I do appreciate you guys joining me today for this reaction, and look forward to future reactions with you. And until then, I will see you guys soon.